Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of XTW, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be champion versus champion, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be the Intercontinental Champion, Jeff Hardy, versus the World Champion, the Big Dog, Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen, in a non-title match, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, both men are both locking up, ladies and gentlemen. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy, he do a jar breaker, ladies and gentlemen, to Roman Reigns. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy, brother Matt, give him a steel chair, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy, he jumps from the chair, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, he do a right elbow to Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy picks up Roman Reigns off of the mat, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy, he do the twist of fate on Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns' head hit the steel chair, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy goes for the cover. 1, 2 counts. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns, he do the DDT, ladies and gentlemen, to Jeff Hardy. Ladies and gentlemen, it look like Jeff Hardy, he trying to get up to his feet, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy, he turn around. And ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns, he do a right boot, ladies and gentlemen, to Jeff Hardy's head. Ladies and gentlemen, it looked like Jeff Hardy, he trying to get up from the mat, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, the big dog, he's staring at Jeff Hardy, ladies and gentlemen. He's staring at Jeff Hardy like prey, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, the big dog, Roman Reigns, he trying to do drive-by. On Jeff. Ladies and gentlemen, it looked like Jeff Hardy countered Roman Reigns. Then, ladies and gentlemen, he throws him to the mat, ladies and gentlemen. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy, he powerbomb Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen, to the mat. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns, he do a clothesline to Jeff Hardy. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns pick up Jeff Hardy, ladies and gentlemen, he do the windmill slam, ladies and gentlemen, to Jeff Hardy. Then, ladies and gentlemen, the big dog goes for the cover. 1, 2 counts. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy, he get Roman Reigns by the back of the head and he throws his head to the ring post. And, ladies and gentlemen, he throws his head to the ring post again. And, ladies and gentlemen, he throws his head to the ring post again. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy, ladies and gentlemen, he do a leg drop to Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy picks up Roman Reigns. Then he do a backward suplex, ladies and gentlemen, on the big dog. And, ladies and gentlemen, it looked like Jeff Hardy, he clamps on the ring rope, ladies and gentlemen, and he looking down at Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, he jumps with a suicide dive from the ring rope, ladies and gentlemen. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns somehow, ladies and gentlemen, he catch Jeff Hardy, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen, he do some more drop, ladies and gentlemen, to Jeff Hardy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, both men are both on their feet, ladies and gentlemen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hardy, he turns around, ladies and gentlemen, Then, ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns, he spears Jeff Hardy. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, what the hell Ryback doing here, ladies and gentlemen? Why he even in the ring, ladies and gentlemen? why this match is going on, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns, the big dog, he turned around, ladies and gentlemen, he turned around. Then, ladies and gentlemen, right back, he do the meat hook, ladies and gentlemen, on Roman Reigns. And then, ladies and gentlemen, right back, he do the shell shock. He do the shell shock to Roman Reigns. Hey, Roman, you know, if I had money in the bank, did you know you will lose the championship tonight? But I'm not a coward. I am a real fighter. At XTW Elite Showdown, Roman Reigns, your XTW World Championship will be mine. Ladies and gentlemen, at XTW Elite Showdown, ladies and gentlemen, these two men, they will go head to head, ladies and gentlemen, for the XTW World Championship, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching another episode of XTW.